This is the third in a series of pieces I'm doing to help new riders that are maybe going to Bonneville Speed Week. In the first one, I did kind of the documentation and how you need to do things. The second one was more on how to set the bikes up to make sure you get through tech inspection. And this one's going to be kind of on the logistics. And the logistics is one of the harder pieces. So we're going to break this one up into 7 pieces within this same video, if it's not too long. The first piece we're going to cover right now is spares. Then we're going to cover the tools and things you need to take down. The third one's going to be the equipment. The fourth one will be the food and things. Fifth one will be expendables. The sixth one will be some of the personal items you want to take down. And the seventh one's a little bit about the vehicle and loading the vehicle. So this is not a all-inclusive list. There may be other things that you need to take with you, but you have to understand, going down to Bonneville Salt Flats, you have to really kind of carry everything with you. The nearest city is Salt Lake City, and it's about 125 miles away. So if you think you're going to need something, you better carry it. We're pretty sharing out there, and I've shared stuff with other people, and they'll share with you too. So first off, let's go right to the spares. The first thing on the spares is you need to take enough oil to do an oil change, an oil filter wrench, something to put it in, and a funnel. Second is you need to take a spare set of spark plugs. We're talking spares here. So I usually just take one spare set of spark plugs. On sprockets, you're going to be changing sprockets out there. It's inevitable, because whenever you run out there, it happens that even if you come back 2 years in a row, that the gearing at work one year may not work the second year. So I'll start off, the standard gearing is on my bike right now, so I'll bring 2 rear sprockets that are smaller, which give me higher gearing, and I'll bring 2 front sprockets which are larger, which will give me higher gearing. Then I'll bring another chain which is a little bit longer, so I can use the different combinations, as well as some master links and a lock washer for the countershaft sprocket. Because you can, with the gearing, you can mix and match on the gearing. Sometimes if you mix it just right, you do not have to put the other chain on. The next thing I have here is key boxes. We bring 2 sets of key boxes. We do that because we'll put one key box in one vehicle and the other key box in another vehicle. There will be duplicate keys to every lock and every motorcycle. It's nothing more frustrating than get out there and you can't find a lock to the trailer, or you can't find a key to the motorcycle. So we'll keep 2 sets of keys in there, as well as I'll keep a medical power of attorney, which I'll show a little bit later. I'll bring a spare battery. Always have a spare battery. It gets hot out there. Batteries are known to fail, and the nearest one is 125 miles away. I'll bring spare batteries for the GoPro and recording devices, for my recording devices. One of the more important things is bringing spare brake levers and clutch levers, spare foot pegs, a spare shift lever, and a spare rear brake lever. They do break. Bikes fall over out there in the trailer. I've had mine do that one year, and it almost cost me about $7,000 because I did not have the spare foot peg. Unfortunately, I bought one off of a Triumph guy passing by. That was very fortunate. We'll bring spare inner tubes in case you do have a flat out there. Sometimes the dealers won't have the tire, but you can fix it with tubes. So I'll bring spare front and rear tubes. I bring a assortment of nuts and bolts and cotter pins out there because you'll need to use them. You can't really bring too many of those. The next thing you have is the seat. I run 2 seats on the bike. I run a dual seat and I run the single solo seat. and depending on how I feel and how I can get down, I may need to scoot back for a little bit more traction, so I'll use a dual seat. If not, I'll use a solo seat. I'll bring a spare set of pipes, the same reason I'm bringing spare foot pegs. Bikes do fall over, and sometimes when that happens, the exhaust system kind of gets crushed. This is not a spare, but you need to bring a battery tender. Somebody will inevitably leave your bike key on, not me. Also bring a spare set of gear. Some people fall over, so I'll bring a spare helmet, gloves, boots, and leathers. I've blown leathers out before because people come from different countries like New Zealand and things, and they get there and they get rejected in technical inspection because they didn't read the rule book on what they need to bring. So it's very important to have, I'll take all of these things through the inspection when I first get there, so they'll be okayed, so I can go immediately to it. The only thing that they really put a sticker on is your leathers and your helmet. So and with the helmet, I advise bringing a clear shield and a dark shield with each helmet because you may need them. Also brings, this is not how many tie downs I have. I'll bring 3 or 4 extra tie downs because they get loose, the salt gets in them, they don't work properly. Then I bring some thumb drives just in case we need to take things and move it around on computers, or we have a problem with the computer, we can back it up on the thumb drives and we can move to a different computer. This is not the whole entire list of things you need to take, but it gives you an idea of the spares that you need to take with you. Because remember, they're not going to be out there. There's nobody going to be out there to help you out. You're kind of on your own to get things done, and you break something, you just break it. Hopefully you can borrow it from a neighbor, but if you can't, you better have it with you. So the next thing we're going to cover will be the tools in section 2.